you should see that I entered an order number 43, and it's already gone through and it's appeared in Turbo360. So I've got actually 3 transactions that I've created, and that allows me to get a good, from a business perspective, a good understanding of what's going on. Now, if I click into each one, I'll come on to the details in a moment of how to do this, but you can go through your business process or what you've tracked from your business process, and you can view details of the message. So you see here, I can go into the details and look at the messages. So I've got my message body that I can track. I've got custom properties such as work ID. If I go into my send to payroll, send to HR, again, there's some items of my business process that I'm tracking. So again, if I click on some of these, you can look at the output of those items. And again, it's very much a business user focus, and it's presented in a much nicer way. So you see here, if I wanted to, I can allow my business users to go in and track the status of a particular work ID, and look at the details of what's happened within the system without them having to get in touch with support people. And there may be valid business reasons why they need to do that, because there might be a customer on the end of the phone to the account manager. The account manager might decide, well, actually, I'll check to see if it's sent to the HR department and so on. So in Turbo360, and again, I'm not going to go into a great amount of detail on this, but I wanted to show how you can achieve this. So you can set up what's called transactions. So I've got an inbound transaction and an outbound transaction. I'm basically just saying which of these stages of my business process do I want to track. So I'm tracking here, validating my message and sending it to service bus for my employee data. And for my HR, again, I'm just tracking my canonical message and sending to Bob. Now, what I did want to show was how do you do this? So if I go into my Logic apps, where's that gone? So I've only instrumented it for my employee scenario. So if I go into here and look in the design view, so I did say before, ignore those BAM tracking pieces, but this is where I'm going to talk about them. So to instrument your tracked process, your Turbo360 transaction, you basically need to make some API calls. And what you do within your Logic app, and you can do this from function apps as well. It's all it is an API call at the end of the day. You go in and you configure your HTTP action with your URL. So there's a start transaction endpoint, and there's a checkpoint endpoint. But all you're saying is I want to track a particular process, and you give it some details about that business process that you want to track. So again, these are just HTTP headers. You can track the message body, and you can track custom headers and so on. So you see here, all I'm doing is saying, I want to track a particular business process flow by calling the Turbo360 API. So I've got start tracking, which initiates the process, which would be the equivalent of starting my my receive employee. So this will start this receive employee transaction. But any other stage of your business process that you want to track, you would then make another call to Turbo360, but to a different API, to a checkpoint API. Again, you have to pass details of your business process, your transaction, and other details you want to send. What is key to this is tying it all together. So you might ask, if you're calling these APIs, how do you tie them all together so you've got a holistic end-to-end transaction? What you do have to do is store a unique GUID or get the output of the first call in a unique GUID and use that all the way through your transactions. You've got this transaction instance ID that you have to make sure you pass around so that all of the transactions hang together. But it is really quite simple. You define your business process in Turbo360. Just waiting for this to load. And then you just instrument your code with each of those API calls. And I wouldn't create this again now, but if I was doing it, it would probably take me 10, 15 minutes to recreate this scenario. It is really that straightforward. But the benefit you get from this is, of course, I know that if I go through the last hour, you can look at the details of what I've done in the last hour. You can search for things like, so I've got 2, 3, 4, 42. You can filter your BAM data. You can allow your business users to query the data and do what they need to do to find out the health of the system and what's going on and so on. So it is really quite powerful. So you get the end-to-end business process overview. You can instrument as much of your code as you want. You can track as much data as you want, but that effectively is quite a powerful tool for doing end-to-end business activity monitoring.